How many of you love freedom? How many of you love your family? How many would do anything to protect your family and freedom? Hey, we're going to be talking about some of these solutions today. You can tell that the title is Freedom Families, the Cure for Statism. And I'm so happy to be here because Anarchapulco is my favorite place, and I love freedom as well. It's called the Cure for Statism. I know it's a bold title, but maybe it should be a cure for statism because there's so many cures, I think, and we're at the time in human history where we want to make the state obsolete. So, by the end of today's talk, you'll learn what is a freedom family. We're going to define some terms. This is I don't know if it's a new concept, but something that inspires me. What is statism and why a cure is needed desperately? The world's in a terrible place right now. Why a freedom family is a cure for statism. When to start building a freedom family. Strategies to building a freedom family. And how to meet other freedom families. Is this something that you're interested in? Yes. Thank you. Before I get into that, would it be okay if I tell you a little bit about myself? Thank you. As mentioned, my name is David James Rodriguez. I am CEO of the Gatto Project, and this is an acronym which means get all the thinkers out of forced schools. I define forced schools as day prisons, 12-year day prisons for children, unacceptable, and I got the name because I worked with John Taylor Gatto. How many of you haven't heard of John Taylor Gatto? How many of you have not? Okay, so the quick of it is he was the New York State Teacher of the Year, published this book. I worked with him on this book, The Underground History of American Education. He won all these awards, and he blew the whistle on what's going on in the school systems. He found the primary documents from the Germans, from Horace Mann, and all these guys about the forced school system intentionally being created to make obedient students and adults in life. It's a diabolical system, and I have no respect for it. Principal of Valor Academy that focuses on accelerated graduation and apprenticeship so I can get kids out of the school system, give them the piece of paper, they can graduate, go to community college if they want. We do homeschool consulting as well, and empower the children. I hate politicians that say the children is the future while they're stealing money and indoctrinating them with terrible curriculum, but what I do is help get them out of the system as soon as possible. I founded Education Options TV. You can check that out, helping people learn about respectful models, and I'm homeschool for parents. Let's get back to you. There was once a wise man, and all the villagers came to him for advice. And he noticed something interesting. They always came with the same problem over and over again. So he decided he was going to do something new. So the people come to him, they say the problem, and he told them a joke. And everybody's laughing, having a great time. And he waited a few minutes later, and he told them the same joke. And only a few people laughed this time. And he waited a few more minutes, and he told them the same joke. Nobody laughed. And he said, you can't laugh at the same joke 3 times in a row. So why do you keep coming to me with the same problem over and over again? Ladies and gentlemen, the state is the problem we keep complaining about. We must evolve beyond the state. We must transcend the state and make it obsolete. What is the state? 18 de la Boetie Square. The state is intergenerational organized crime. That's powerful words. But an organization that is based on theft and coercion, that's what it is. What is statism? It's a belief in authority superior than your own. We already know about inalienable rights, the Declaration of Independence over 200 years ago. Life and liberty, happiness, property come from the nature or God or creator. They're yours. You're the president, you're the king, you're the queen. We have to remember this. That's what we're doing here. Statism is a religion based on coercion, and that's why it's drilled into the children at a young age. So why do we need a cure for statism? Some of you know, some of you watching at home might not know. There's a term called democide. How many of you have ever heard of democide? How many of you have not? It's a term from University of Hawaii. They calculated that death by government over 145 million people, conservatively, in the 20th century, and only 8.5 million murders privately only, right? So very, very deadly, this organization. This quote from Aldous Huxley, 1949, there will be in the next generation or so a pharmacological method of making people love their servitude and producing dictatorship without tears, so to speak, producing a kind of painless concentration camp for entire societies so that people will, in fact, have their liberties taken away, but will rather enjoy it because they will be distracted from any desire to rebel by propaganda or brainwashing enhanced by pharmacological methods. And this seems to be the final revolution. We're seeing this. Are you guys realizing that this is what's visible in actual reality right now? Oh my gosh, this is why we got to build freedom families. We're getting to the solutions here, trust me. Okay, this is 1953, Bertrand Russell. Diet, injections, and injunctions will combine from a very early age to produce the sort of character and the sort of beliefs that the authorities consider desirable, and any serious criticism of the powers that be will become psychologically impossible. Even if all are miserable, all will believe themselves to be happy because the government will tell them that they are so. He said this 60 years ago, 70 years ago. What the state does, the state ruins everything good. The schools, the media, the banks, eventually, right? So here's how much money you have left after property taxes, food taxes, income taxes, gas tax, sales tax, city tax, county tax, state tax, federal taxes. That's how much we lost. A little bit of an exaggeration, but where are they putting that money? We'll get into that here. So you guys might have heard this phrase, taxation is? Right, all the right answers. Taxation is robbery. When you take money with a threat, that is robbery. That is a fact. And so they just tricked us. By the way, the tax started with 1%, and now it's increased to at least 30, 40, maybe 50% for many of us in the room. Taxation is theft. Taxation is extortion. But what about the roads? Forget the roads. Why? State roads are terrible. I don't know where you live. I live in Silicon Valley in California, where Google and Facebook and all these technocratic companies are. And here's some of the roads that look like there. I'm driving, I'm getting air in my car. I'm like, where am I? Oh, wealthiest place in the world. They put that money in their pockets and they give it to their friends. How about asset forfeitures surpass burglaries in 2014? Actually, it's 2015 from Institute of Justice. Could you imagine an institution is stealing more property than private individuals? And so this is why the evolution is happening. You guys are part of the solution. We are now seeing the criminal in the room, and it's the state. Oh, by the way, it's illegal to gather rainwater in some cities, counties, and states. Rain, the state believes they own. Feed the homeless? No, you got to get a permit. I got so much respect for the people in Texas who go to feed the homeless with guns on their shoulders, man. Go feed the people. Travel without permission. You need a piece of paper, a license, because the state says. By the way, I'm an advocate of civil disobedience, so I'm just kind of framing this up so you know what's going on there, but this is ridiculous, man. It keeps going on. Fix your roof without permission. I need to get a permit to fix my roof that's leaking. Sell lemonade without permission. No, the children, my 10-year-old kids or young people, you need permission. Help people with health problems without permission. You can't be helping people with nutrition. You got to get a doctor's license. Grow vegetables in your front yard without permission. Why? Because the state thinks they own you, and they're terrible criminals, basically. Have a garage sale without permission. What does the state desire for your child? Well, we know. We can look at the history, what they've been doing and what they're doing now. They want obedience. They don't want people thinking for themselves. Conformity, one size fits all. That's what they want. That's what they've been doing. Fear. This is why when you're driving and the police are behind you, you get that fear because it feels like Mrs. Jones is like caught you cheating or something. They want you in fear. This is a very disempowered state. Conditional self-esteem, the tests in the schools. You can't feel good about yourself unless we give you an A or we give you a special grade. It's all by design. Bad habits, reactive to authority. Johann Fichte, this is one of the most diabolical quotes ever, 1806. Education should aim at destroying free will so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmasters would have wished. When the technique has been perfected, every government that has been in charge of education for more than one generation will be able to control its subjects securely without the need of armies or policemen. 1806, the 8th address to the German nation. So the school system was imported from Prussia for this reason. You can thank Johann Fichte, and we're many generations into it. James Warburg said, "We shall have world government whether we like it or not. The only question is whether world government will be achieved by conquest or consent." And so they're trying to get consent. What's the current narrative now? The world's going to end by 2030. So this is United Nations 21. Get behind the green mask. Also, you remember George Bush said, we will have before us an opportunity to forge ourselves a future, a new world order. He goes down and say, when we are successful, when we will be, we have a real chance. A credible United Nations. Okay, I just get so mad reading this stuff, guys. I'm just building up because I want you to see the solution here. The state wants to replace your family. This term, parens patriae, a Latin term for the doctrine that the government is the ultimate guardian of all people under the disability, especially children, whose care is only entrusted to those parents. There was once an elephant, very big, very strong, but he was tied to a peg, and he couldn't get away because when he was trained as a young calf elephant, they tied him up to the same peg, and he couldn't get away. And then he learned, when I try, I can't win. He conditioned himself. And so, although he's huge and he can easily break away with his strength, it's called learned helplessness. And this is where humanity is. And you guys are that big elephant, and this community is building so we can break free from this rope and in the state. So what's the solution? Who is the solution? We are the solution. I am the solution. Please repeat after me. I'm the solution. One more time. I'm the solution. I'm the solution. I'm the solution. That's right. This is what we got to get. This is the theme I was starting to feel also at the turtle party last night. There's this concept called voluntarism. If somebody would have told me this at age 12, I would have been ready for it. It's a philosophy that all moral relationships are consensual and voluntary. The use of coercion is considered to be unacceptable. This is the idea, guys, that I believe is the future of humanity, and freedom families are going to bring it to the fore. Freedom families are a cure for statism. What is a freedom family? I define freedom families, two or more people who love each other and intend on being in each other's lives for a long time while respecting the principles of self-ownership, non-aggression, and self-defense. Also, sometimes love is a cliche, but humanity is awakening. This is according to the Greek. There's 8 types of love. We have the top: romantic, sexual, eros, philia, feeling part of a group, storge, family love, relations, ludus, playing fun, exciting love, mania, obsessive love, pragma, love that endures, and philanthropia, self-love, being kind to all, and agape, love of humanity. So when we say, I love you, there's a great quote that says, there's no such thing as wasted love, and we always love too little, too late. So this is why I started expressing love in my life. And then these types of love are super important to the freedom family. Okay, so why is a freedom family a cure? Win-win outcomes. In a freedom family, you're going to be around somebody that you love. So you want to have good outcomes, whether exchanging, helping somebody learn basic skills. The state is a win-lose outcome because they steal you the money and they use coercion. One of the big concerns also without the state, people think, well, what are we going to do? A freedom family, you protect your children, your spouse, and it's mutual. We protect each other. Versus a state that gets paid to civil asset forfeiture, fines, levies. And the legacy. Again, this is a concept I didn't learn in school, but thinking about the next generation, passing it on. What is the legacy? Freedom families, they want to pass on, whether it is the values, the traditions, the faith, the assets, the learned lessons, the libraries, whatever you want to pass on, the state wants to take half your stuff when you pass away. So how can we build freedom families? And by the way, these are all my theories and experiences. You can take your own. How can we build intention? It starts with the intention. I want to build a freedom family. Whether it's the spouse, siblings, whoever it is, this is what we want to build. We want to build this unit to protect each other, to have win-win outcomes without coercion. Clarity. What are we doing with relationships? We don't learn about relationships, so we have clarity. I want to have a mutually beneficial relationship, one that benefits you, one that benefits me. This is totally natural. Self-interest. What's in it for me? What's in it for you? Let's make it good. Decision. Hey, I'm looking for love. Everybody's looking for love, but whatever kind of relationship it is, to create a life together, not just this year or next year or 50 years from now. We want to create something, a legacy, something that's beautiful for humanity. We're awake to what's going on, and we got the solutions, and we build it together. Commitment. Commit to love. It's vulnerable to love, but we always love too little, too late. We really got to start loving the people that are in our circles. Courage to speak truth, which is difficult because we feel we're getting censored. Our families try to maybe ostracize us. Take action. We're afraid of making mistakes, but we got to take action, guys. And persist. It's difficult. We fall down. We get back up. We got to keep going. We must continue. Freedom is at stake right here. Patience, we got to wait. The phrase intergenerational organized crime, very accurate, but also intergenerational freedom. I think of myself like Johnny Appleseed of freedom. We're planting seeds. We're planting seeds. It will water, it'll grow. It'll water, it'll grow. I'm no longer trying to convince my family members. I'm trying to find awesome people like you, going to live events, meeting people, planting seeds, intergenerational. And wisdom, oh gosh. Please give us wisdom, man. We don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. We're just trying our best out here. And understand we're all healing. I got traumatized through schools, through families, through religion, like we all have. We're all healing. So when I see people fighting, I feel so sad. You know, people fighting, we're on the same team. We're on the same team. We're all hurt. We've got to help each other, if you want. How else can we build freedom families? My opinion, we got to start studying the principles of self-ownership. We got to start talking about it. Who owns your body? These are questions you want to ask young people, questions you want to ask your people around you. What does it mean if you own yourself? Well, my opinion is personal responsibility. This is the tough one, right? The state wants to come in there as our parents, and we depend upon them. But the true free person is self-reliant, and this takes a lot of work. You know, we feel afraid of what it means to our lifestyle and our relationships. But we got to study self-ownership. Talk about it. What does it mean? You're the owner, the only one. The non-aggression principle. The NAP, this is the one. Basic principle. Learn it. What does it mean? How do we negotiate? We can't use coercion. We must use our words. Learn to compromise. Learn to make deals. Self-defense. Hey, I grew up and I didn't know. I didn't have much experience with guns. I had like a BB gun, but we got to protect ourselves. And if you saw Dale Brown, he says, treat everybody like your brother. You know, there's no benefit in killing each other, but we got to defend ourselves. And if people come after your family, you have the right to morally justifiably kill them if you want. So when is the best time to start a family? Well, you've heard this one. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago and today. So why not start today? Whether it's with the intimate partner, friends, people that you invite into your circle, the state's coming, guys, and we see it, and that's why we're here. So we got to build these freedom families. You can call them tribes if you want. How can we do it? This is one example, physical events. I've met more people through this event who are pro-freedom, moral, awesome human beings than any event I've attended. Come to these events. And if this is too far for you to come to Mexico, start one in your local market, your own city. We were doing freedom barbecues. 30 people come to the freedom barbecue, you know, do a little bonfire on the beach, make some hamburgers or something, and start building relationships with people that aren't going to call the state on you. This is essential, in my opinion. Online communities, right? And despite the, Facebook censoring us and doing these things, we found good people online. So my recommendation is you meet these people, connect with them, and then meet up with them in real life. Get to know them, grab some tea, but we got to utilize the internet as best we can for freedom. And everywhere else. I don't know. Build a freedom family, however you can. Online, offline, set that intention, and go build these positive relationships. John Gatto, my man, you either learn your way towards writing your own script in life, or you unwittingly become an actor in someone else's script. The state has been writing our script for generations, and it's now time that we write our own script. What do you desire for your children? What do you desire for your life, for your legacy? What's your name going to be associated with when we pass? Nobody gets out alive. We're all naked, as Steve Jobs said. So think about that. We can be honest with that conversation. We got to write our own script, and I think freedom as a script is going to be going forward. In summary, the state is intergenerational criminal organization that's harming babies and children and fathers. It's no longer acceptable. You guys are the visionaries. I got so much respect for all you guys for being here and for watching this online because you realize what's going on. And whether you accept that terminology of the state being criminal, we can all admit that it's harming children. And I don't know how long we're going to let these forced vaccines go on, how long we're going to let the forced schooling go on, how long we're not going to be able to feed the homeless without permission, how long we can't sell lemonade without permission, how long we can't fix our roof without permission. It's essential we realize how much harm this institution is doing. Voluntarism, also known as anarchy, which anarchy just means no rulers. Voluntary relationships. It's not anarchy and chaos, it's anarchy and peace. Anarchy in harmony. Is a real solution. Voluntarism is a real solution to statism. Not the left-right paradigm. Not Trump, not Biden, not Hillary, none of them. It's us. You're the solution. I'm the solution. And we know that. We have to remind ourselves. We got to support each other, help each other. When somebody falls down, pick them up. Being personally responsible for your life is hard. It's difficult. That's why we're here. We got to help each other. Understand there's different types of love. You can love broadly and widely. No such thing as wasted love. You have inalienable rights to your life and liberty and property. Not from the state, the county, the feds. From God or nature. You're born free. We get opted into the Social Security system, the birth certificate. It's all a gigantic hoax to get us consenting to contracts we have no full disclosure on. Check out Lysander Spooner. No treason. 1867. He was calling out the Rothschilds back then. So through technology, we now are aware of these guys who are using the state as a tool of tyranny. That's all it is. And that's why our family members get upset when we sit down during the national anthem. I don't know if any of your family members do. I have a family member who gets so upset, The national anthem comes on, I sit down. He gets up and does his religion. God bless him. Man, it's very disrespectful for you to not stand up during the national anthem. I say, hey, brother, these guys are mass murderers. They kill innocent women and children. Over 1 million of them got killed in Iraq plus from your tax dollars. But, it's for the spirit of the people to join the military. I said, I know it's the spirit, dude. I got many family members in the military. But they're actually taking your money and they're buying bombs and they're killing people. That's what they're doing, brother. And he has very little interest in that. The principles of self-ownership, non-aggression, and self-defense are fundamental to freedom. Please start studying these principles. Please become versed in them. Please start talking about it with people as you go to the store, as you go to family reunions, as you go to restaurants. These are actual solutions. And that's why I love it so much. Not because I'm trying to fix the world, because I'm trying to share the liberating ideas that liberated me. Because the slavery begins here. This is how they do it. They fool us into thinking that they're working for us while pillaging us and harming our families, breaking up our families. They want their global state and they're so committed, man. Could you imagine if you had all the money in the world? What would you do if you had all the money in the world? You don't want money. Some of us are working, man. We're trying to make some money. But if you have $1 trillion, if you own all the banks, you want control. And we're seeing that control grid very apparent right now. Study these principles. Talk about them. They're sexy, man. The self-ownership principle is so sexy. We must build freedom families or the state will continue criminal actions against peaceful people to enslave every woman and child. Remember that Warburg quote? 70 years ago, we will have a world government, whether by consent or conquest. I think we have to be committed to the same degree. And it's difficult because we want to live. There's a great clip from Martin Luther King. I know he's not a voluntarist, but it's called You Die. And he was 36 years old, speaking 3 years before he got assassinated. And he said, you die if you don't speak truth. You die if you don't stand up for justice. And he said, I'd rather die at 36 than live to be 80 and shut my mouth. This is getting to the point, guys. And you guys are the visionaries. I got to be very truthful. Each one of you. You guys are the ones. I have so much respect for you guys. Not just to be in this room, people watching at home will realize this truth. There were 2 kids jumping on a trampoline. About 7 years old. Jumping those giant trampolines. Jumping. Crack, it pushes it through. Breaks one, the spring breaks. Those long springs? And the kid says, oh no. Don't tell my mother. She's going to kill me. And the other son says, if we tell my mother, she's going to help me. This is the difference between the authoritarian mindset and the helpful mindset. The actual family to support or do what I say. And it passes on to our children. I got that story from Dana Martin that actually happened. Her son was confused. Why This is the trampoline broke. Why wouldn't we go tell my mom? Oh, honey, because they use coercion and threats in their house. Oh, but we use consent, peaceful interactions. Oh, so it starts in the families. And you can hire me if you want to do these things, but I just got to tell you guys, we are the ones we're waiting for. It is time. Freedom is sexy. Freedom is hot. And I got so much respect for you guys. I'll see you next time spreading the freedom worldwide. Thank you so much.